Hey everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What's shaking? I am going to tell you people about the very best breakfast cereal. You may see some behind me right now. But before I get to anything else, ladies and gentlemen, our long national nightmare is over. After telling me it could take months to be verified, blah, 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 blah. They still haven't figured out, how to pay me. But let me rack up the... we're monetized, baby. Yes. There'll be a lot less begging that goes on during the program now. Lyndon, very kindly, congrats. Producer Joe, thank you so much. I couldn't have done it without you. Sunday Jenna has sent. I made more already during this program than the entire history of the show, pretty much. The Reverend Wild Bill, Gullarinos Assemble. Yes. Now, I should mention, and Kahuna, of course, says, congratulations, Tom. Thank you all so much. That's totally unnecessary. Just very deeply appreciated. I have the ability to turn on memberships, but I don't feel like doing it. I don't produce any content that would be a behind the paywall content at the moment. I might at some point. But I feel like, hey, if you guys can donate in the room, that's enough. Peg Leg Vets is first day of pay. Sweet. Terry Nee very generously has $10 of donation for our program. And gosh, we appreciate that. But we will go back and get a lot of these other chats here. Oh, my God, yes. Oh, wait. What am I doing here? I already have the David Allen Coe lyrics. Good day, here we are. Just curious YouTuber. Yeah, I did that part already, I think. I'm so flustered. Let's see here. Yeah, because we went by the Lyndon event. Cheers, Tom, says Chris Abels. Hi, Tom, and well done. Like button is easy to hit. That's true. Like, share, subscribe, retweet, whatever it is. That doesn't cost anything. It really helps us. I understand people can't, want to, don't want to super chat, and that's fine. Sunday Jenna says, I was looking for a frog sticker, but I found a victory hippo instead. Amen, says Chris Abel. Amen indeed. Yay, Tom, congrats on the tongue sticking out. Okay, well, I've had that much luck today, but Aku Mugen says, ladies and gentlemen, Journey. Joe Savard's in the room and says, congrats. Oh, yes, our long national nightmare is over. Let's see. Congratulations, says Toby McGroby. Joe Savard said, oh, come on, you can be more creative than that. I'll give you $1 a month. I think I set it up for, it's $1.99 or $2.99, but I didn't turn it on. No more off-brand Rice Krispies. Snap, crackle, and pop. You're darn right. Dino Bryan says, pretty colors. Yeah, it's pretty colors. Ronald J. Bateman says, this is a win not only for Tom, but all the gully heads, gullarinos, gully buffs, and flock of seagullies. Yeah, do I have enough space here to get the flock of seagullies back up again? I love this. I do. It's wonderful. Kahuna says, if you turn on memberships, you can take new members out for dinner and drinks. Here in Dallas? Yeah, meet me in Dallas. It's a good place for dinner and drinks. SG Fanboy, couldn't have gotten here without you, brother, says, congrats, Tom. You've earned this fake super chat. Thank you so much. Lyndon says, thank you. You guys are too good to me. You're just too good to me. Thank you for the recognition. Ronald, Randy says, Chef is in the house. They're cooking up some good things down there in Union Station in Indianapolis. I had to do a bunch of stuff to get this whole thing to work, and I still have more to do because I haven't they send you like a deposit for under $1, and then you have to put the amount back, and then they have a verified way to pay you. Why don't they just let you use PayPal? Be done in a minute. Forgot their Google. Terry Nee, who's being way too generous, says, go out and get ice cream now. We'll wait. I got a bunch of change over there. Does anybody carry like I usually carry like a 20 and maybe some extra money. It tends to fluctuate. But paper money anymore is just not a priority. I think I have like $2 right now, just because I haven't gotten money out of an ATM or anything in forever. Congrats, Tom. Thank you, Aku. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very deeply. Let's see here. Sorry, pal. Raisin Bran Crunch is my go-to cereal. Well, this is going to be controversial because what I did, let me tell you about the best breakfast cereals. Now, I imagine there's a way somehow through exhaustive research for me to come up with the best-selling breakfast cereals, but it's a little unfair because Kellogg's has been around since like the 1880s. Cornflakes actually was started at a sanitarium in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm not joking. And so it's a little unfair. So the list I came up with was the most popular cereals in America according to Google searches since 2004. Okay, so since 2004, according to the number of Google searches, these are your top cereals. And I'm planning on going into some detail on the top 10 of them. The rest of them I'll list, and you know, even I, who don't think this, I don't think this is a bad list, but to your point, one of my big favorites is way further down the list than I thought it ever would be. So, number one, I'm sure you're wondering what the number one, breakfast cereal is. And you will see it behind me. The number one, according to Google searches since 2004, is Rice Krispies. That's what's on the background behind me there, Rice Krispies. By the way, Rice Krispies are known as rice bubbles in Australia and New Zealand. And they started making Rice Krispies in 1828. And the original patent called for using partially dried grain, which could be whole or broken. And that would have 13 to, forget it. It's a low moisture cereal. The Snap, Crackle, Pop slogan was in use by 1939 because it was advertised that this cereal would stay crisp in milk, not mushy. I don't know about any of you guys, but man, if you don't eat that stuff pretty quick, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of variants. There's Cocoa Krispies. There are Rice Krispies with vanilla flavor. There are chocolate and vanilla Rice Krispies. There are Rice Krispie Treats cereal, which are little cubes of marshmallow. And so, yeah. The mascots, Snap, Crackle, and Pop, were created in the 30s, and they originally appeared on the packaging. Snap was the first one. In 1933, Crackle and Pop came later, but since 1939, the trio's been together, and they've never broken up. They updated them into elves in 1960 because they were advertising on the Woody Woodpecker show. And they are the first and the longest running cartoon characters to represent a Kellogg's product. And Kellogg's has cartoon characters for everything. So that's actually pretty good. Snap, Crackle, Pop, Rice Krispies, 1966 to present. It's going to be a rice day was the slogan in the 60s. Let someone in on the fun Snap, Crackle, Pop, Wake Up Call to the World from 1998 to 2001, and Moms Just Know from 2007 to present. Moms Just Know. So there you are. Rice Krispies, number 1. Now I hear you cry out, what would be number 2 on the list? And I'm going to tell you real quick here. Well, let me get this out of the way. Let me get that guy's ugly mug out of the way. Number 2 on the list is Cheerios. Cheerios are number 2. Cheerios I always thought was a good way to go because it was a healthy cereal. It didn't taste too bad, but I will admit I dumped a half cup of sugar on those babies every time I had them. So, I mean, I don't know how healthy they were, really. I mean, I could dredge my bowl after I was done of the sugar. Cheerios were introduced in May of 1941 as Cheery Oats. The name was shortened to Cheerios after Quaker Oats, a competitor, claimed that they were the ones that had the right to use the word oats, that they owned that or something. Cheerios production was based on an extrusion process invented for Kix in 1937. And so 1977, we'll get to that later. There's a honeybee that used to advertise it, but most of us paid no mind and it went away. Number 3 on our hit parade of the best cereals of all time is Chex. Now, they didn't specify corn Chex, rice Chex, or wheat Chex, which kind of ticked me off, but, what are you going to do? I think Chex are more popular as a snack party thing. But Chex is a General Mills cereal. It was originally known as Shredded Ralston and was first made in 1936. I don't like it when my cereals are made by Ralston Purina. Kind of a dog food thing, but they changed the name to Chex in 1950, and the Chex is because of the checkerboard logo on the thing, and that's what they do. And but nowadays Chex is you buy it. Chex is the basis for the baked snack Chex Mix. I don't know about you. You can buy Chex Mix, and it's not bad. It's pretty good, actually. But when my mom used to make it with the butter and the turning it over and then in the skillet, and she'd put a little dash of Worcestershire in there, and oh my God, it was just so buttery and over the top. And So Chex Mix, but that's number 3 on the list. Ooh, I shouldn't have closed that window. That was a bad mistake. That's number 3 on the list is Chex. Now, number 4 on the list is Boom Shakalaka Special K. And I got to tell you, I love Special K. My mom used to get it all the time, and but again, half a cup of sugar. Had to have a half a cup of sugar on it, or but there's something. Rice Krispies and Special K. If you have a big, like a tablespoon spoon, you can get half the bowl pretty much in one clump. That was produced for the first time in 1955. It's made from grains like most cereals, but it's primarily marketed as a low-fat cereal that can be eaten to lose weight. So Kellogg's makes Special K, and they advocate the Special K Challenge, which is to help somebody lose 6 pounds in 2 weeks. And you would eat Special K for breakfast every morning. That was part of the deal. Now, there's a couple of really good, and one in particular, Special K variants. There's original. There's Chocolatey Delight, never had it. Chocolatey Strawberry, never had it. Cinnamon Pecan, never had it. red berries. They have these like hydrogenated red berries sliced in there. When you put them in the milk, they juice up, and they're just enough flavor. They're so good. So good. Vanilla almond, never had it. Fruit and yogurt, never had it. Brown sugar, gluten-free, never had it. Oats and honey, never had it. Touch of honey granola, never had suffice to say, I never really have not had any of the other kinds. But those red berries one, ooh, mama, are they good. Now, a lot of you are probably saying, what is it with all these old-timey, grain-based, sugarless cereals? Well, we're gonna make you happy now, because the next one on the list, number 5 on the list, and number 1 in your heart, is, of course, always after me Lucky Charms. Who doesn't love Lucky Charms? The only bad thing about Lucky Charms is that it's almost impossible to keep the cereal to marshmallow ratio in a good balance. So you're going to go through a time when it's normal, and then you go through a time when there's not hardly any marshmallows, and then at the bottom you're going to go through a time when there's just a buttload of marshmallows. Buttload, by the way, a scientific term. Lucky Charms started being produced by General Mills in 1964, and an advertising company is the one that suggested the charms, because charm bracelets were very popular at the time. And so they got with the food chemists there at General Mills, and they decided that these marshmallow bits, or as they call them, Mar-Bits, would be the perfect thing to put in there. Mar-Bits were invented by Edward Olney and Howard Thurman, and they have a patent number, U.S. patent number 3607309, filed on November 1st of 1968, assigned September 9th, 1971, for the preparation of marshmallow with milk solids. There you go. The mascot, of course, for Lucky Charms is Lucky the Leprechaun, also known as Sir Charms, and originally called L.C. Leprechaun. So, I could tell you all the people whose voices have been on it, but the first boxes of Lucky Charms contained marshmallows in the shapes of pink hearts, yellow moons, orange stars, and green clovers. Now, this lineup has changed occasionally, with the start of that being 1975, the introduction of the blue diamonds, and followed by the purple horseshoes in 83, and the red balloons in 89, and the green trees in 91, and the rainbows in 92, and the blue moons in 95, and the leprechaun hats in 97, orange shooting stars and around the world charms in 98, a crystal ball in 2001, an hourglass in 2008, a unicorn in 2019, and in 2013, 6 new rainbow swirl moons and 2 new rainbow charms were introduced. From the original 4 marshmallows, the permanent roster as of 2013 includes 8. The older marshmallows were phased out periodically. The first ones to disappear were the yellow moons and the blue diamonds, and then some of the other ones that were a little too old-timey. By the way, some of the marshmallows have powers attached to them. The heart charm gives life to objects, star charm, power of flight, horseshoe charm, power of speed, clover charm, power of light. You get it. You get it. And there have been a number of limited edition ones. So, Lucky Charms. Always after me, Lucky Charms. Number 6. This cereal is probably the cereal that most people in my life love. And that is, let me put the picture up first. That is going to be, bam! Thank you, StreamYard. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. There's a ton of people in my, realm of life that love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Okay, and that's a new cereal. I mean, well, compared to the other ones, it was first produced in 1984, so it's supposed to taste like cinnamon toast. Okay, so it's really just wheat and rice covered in cinnamon and sugar, and there you go. You know, that's the slogan for that is crave those crazy squares. And then they changed it to breakfast on a whole other level. And there's been, I mean, all these cereals, there's tons of variants. There was a Cinny Mini Churros. There's been everything. Peanut butter toast crunch. There's been everything, man. Everything. But I know lots of people in my personal life that can't get enough of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Here's another one that's going to be a big favorite. And I buy this by the bag, by the way. I buy it by the bag. Don't you guys love that now? You can buy a whole giant bag of your favorite cereal rather than just having it in the box. That's going to be your Fruit Loops. Oh, yes, sirree, Bob. There you go, Peg Leg Vet. There you go, my man. Fruit Loops. And those were introduced in 1963 by Kellogg's. And originally they were only red, orange, and yellow. But green, blue, and purple were added in the 90s. And by the way, Fruit Loops are kind of like Skittles. There's no difference in the flavor between a yellow one and an orange. They're all the exact same flavor. They may look like a rainbow of delicious flavors. No, it's just one flavor. Toucan Sam has been the mascot of Fruit Loops since day one. He's a blue anthropomorphic toucan. The colors of his bill correspond to the first three Fruit Loop colors. You'd like to say flavors, but you can't because it's all just one flavor. He has an uncanny ability, does Toucan Sam, of being able to smell Fruit Loops from great distances. Follow my nose. It always knows the flavor of fruit. Yes. He was originally first voiced by Mel Blanc, who was Bugs Bunny voice. Anyway, so there you go, Fruit Loops. That's a giant favor of mine, Fruit Loops. I don't know about you guys, but Fruit Loops. Okay, here comes another giant favorite of mine, big one, and this in of itself is controversial. Captain Crunch, good old Captain Crunch. Now, first of all, if you don't let Captain Crunch soak in milk for just a couple minutes, you're going to have major hematomas on the roof of your mouth. It just it does a lot of damage. It's like eating serpentine wire or something. But if you let them get a little soggier, you're okay. Now, Captain Crunch started in 1963 by Quaker Oats, and there's a flavorist at a big company called Arthur D. Little, which is kind of it's a management consultant firm, but they do things before companies need them. So they have flavorists and they have chemists and all sorts of stuff. Well, this woman developed the flavor, which was a recipe of brown sugar and butter that her grandmother had served over rice. And so she found a way to get it onto this oat cereal. Of course, it was really sweet, super sweet, and kids love that, don't you know? Jean Lafoot is a fictional pirate character from the Captain Crunch cereal set, and it's a play on Jean Lafitte. The original voice of the captain was provided by Dawes Butler, who is a legendary voiceover artist, did just hundreds of voices for Hanna-Barbera cartoons. And so Captain Crunch and his revolutionary style uniform and all of his misadventures and his canine sea dog and his loyal sailor children, which I could name for you, but you wouldn't remember any of them. You know, that's the thing there. Now, here's where the controversy comes in. They had Captain Crunch, and I love Captain Crunch. Love. Maybe was my favorite cereal as a kid. We didn't have it very often. That was pretty high-toned stuff for us. But then they came out with Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries. Suddenly, Captain Crunch just wouldn't do. I had to have those Crunch Berries, man. I just had to. They just changed the game for me. And then they came out with just Crunch Berries. And that's another one I buy in the giant bag. So I guess when they say Captain Crunch, they didn't get too specific, but you in your own minds will have to reconcile that with whatever God you hold true. Okay. Number 9 on our list is another gigantic favor of mine. This is the cereal that I will eat when I want to eat something kind of clean, something kind of, you know, a little more earthy. And that, of course, is, thank you, StreamYard, Frosted Flakes. Yes, Frosted Flakes. And who doesn't love them some Frosted Flakes, which are basically the cereal company doing the work for you so that you don't have to pour a half cup of sugar on cornflakes. That's all it is. And I appreciate them for it. They do it better than me. They really do. Frosted Flakes were started in 1952, and they were called Sugar Frosted Flakes until 83, when some Sharpie in the marketing department went, hey, you want to cool it on the sugar? We're taking a lot of heat over that, okay? Frosted Flakes, I should tell you this, was the second best-selling cereal in the first half of 2017 after Honey Nut Cheerios. So Tony the Tiger, of course, has been the mascot. They're great since the very, very beginning. And another legendary voice talent did they're great, Thurl Ravenscroft. And I know you think Thurl Ravenscroft is just a silly name, Thurl Ravenscroft. But he is another legendary voiceover actor, although I will tell you what you know him best from. You're a sly one, Mr. Grinch. He's the one that did the voiceover part of that and sung it as well. So and he sung it as well. So there you go. By the way, Kellogg's was a major sponsor of the adventures of Superman throughout most of the 1950s, and many of the commercials featuring the star George Reeves, who we've covered here on this program, are on the DVDs of the first few seasons of that, him advertising Frosted Flakes and all the super energy it gave him as Superman, because Lord knows, as an alien from another world, he needed, you know. Number 10 on our top 10 is, drum roll please. Yep. Honey Nut Cheerios. Where did that go? I don't have a visual for Honey Nut Cheerios. I didn't like it or something. I knew there was one in here I didn't have. But Honey Nut Cheerios is extremely popular. Now, somebody here in the room mentioned a cereal that I think is spectacular. Oh, I know why I didn't do Honey Nut Cheerios, is because visually they look exactly like Cheerios. So Honey Nut Cheerios is sweet and it has a honey and almond flavor. They started it in 1979. Its mascot is a bee. It's a honey of an O. It's Honey Nut Cheerios. Nobody can say no to Honey Nut Cheerios. And then the latest one, they're trying to position it as a Heart Smart product. So they said have a change of heart. Now, I'm going to go through the rest of this list, which just does the top 30. And I think you're going to see that some of these got really the short shrift. Number 11 is Trix, which is a spectacularly good cereal. Number 12 is Post Grape Nut Flakes. Post Grape Nut Flakes are just like any other flakes. They're a little thinner and stuff, but whatever. 13 is Cocoa Puffs. I just don't like that much chocolate for breakfast. A lot of people do like Cocoa Puffs, and they are, in fact, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Honey Smacks. God, I love Honey Smacks. Buy it in a bag, Honey Smacks. Corn Pops, when I was a kid, I really liked. I really loved Corn Pops. I had some recently and went, I should probably get this into the rotation, but Corn Pops actually are pretty good. Another sweetened cereal. Number 16 is Cookie Crisp, which I did used to eat because my mom used to buy it, but it was not fooling me. I'm like, I'm eating cookies in milk. I mean, this isn't even. Number 17 is All Bran. And I guess old people take that to, loosen things up. Crispix. You ever made that cereal that's like, we used to call it suicide. I mean, I was from a big family, 6 kids. So we were working 4 or 5 boxes of cereal at a time. And when one got sort of toward the bottom, nobody would want to eat it anymore. So pretty soon there's like 5 boxes over to the side, and then 5 people are actually actively eating. We would take, or my mom would take, the ones with just that much in the bottom and combine them all, sharing it up, and make this suicide. Well, that's what Crispix tastes like to me. I think it's a violation of the breakfast cereal. Cocoa Krispies, which, let's face it, those are just Cocoa Puffs. I mean, French Toast Crunch, I assume that's like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but it's French. I have no use for that. Oreo O's, which is, again, you're just eating a cookie. Waffle Crisp, I've never had Waffle Crisp. Crave, never had that. Honey O's, I have had Honey O's, that's just another company's attempt at Honey Nut Cheerios. Kaboom, I've had Kaboom. It's really good. It's very Captain Crunchy. Kellogg's Apple Jacks. Apple Jacks, I never got apple from them. It was just, well, these are Cheerios. That's all it was. Now, number 28 on the list, and this is steaming me a little, is the one that you see on the screen, and that is Post Raisin Bran. Now, it's in my top 3. And it's here in 28th place. But what's the one, something Crunch, Raisin Bran, that Lyndon or somebody was mentioning? Cocoa Pebbles and Count Chocula round out the list. And why Boo Berry isn't on the list, why the Blueberry one and the Frankenberry is beyond me. I guess people just like chocolate. That's the thing. But what is it? Something Crunch or Nut Crunch. It's a Raisin Bran. It's got those the raisins are wrapped in, I don't know. Here, let's go back up to the. By the way, thank you for everyone who's super chatted. You guys are the best. This is it. Raisin Bran Crunch is my go-to cereal. Lyndon, I got to tell you, that's in my top 3. I love Raisin Bran Crunch. Paz is here. Pegleg Vic says those cats went to war over cereal back in the day. Please don't tell me Cocoa Pebbles made the list. It did. Not the top 10, though. SG Vampoy says, Tom, Terry, and I need help settling something. Granny Smith or Honey Crisp. Depends on what your making, or if you're just eating it as a piece of fruit. Isn't Granny Smith supposed to be really good for baking? I don't know if for sure that that's true, but that's the way. Certain apples are better for baking, certain apples are better for canning, certain apples are better for pie. They got a whole superstructure of, proper apple usage. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of breakfast cereals, the best ones as rated by Google searches since 2004. But we're going to debate that here now. I can tell you that, because every time you start talking about breakfast cereal with people, I bring in milk and cereal for my coworkers. I find out what they like, and then it's in my, those vertical drawers. I don't keep anything in those, so it's all cereal, and then the refrigerator's got the milk in it. And somebody's like, gosh, I'm hungry. I say, hey, got Fruity Pebbles in here. Looks like honeycombs. Honeycomb, I used to like that cereal. No Fanboy, Cosmic Crisp. I think that was on the list. Did you mean Snap, Crackle, and Soda? Phosphate, perhaps? Oopsie-daisy. Frankenberry is probably number one. Joker, that Frankenberry is so good. Diana Bryan says, I really loved those little guys when I was a kid. My nan used to get variety packs when we stayed at hers. Us grandchildren were certainly blessed. My grandmother would also, Diana, get the variety packs. And if you remember back in the day, they were perforated on the front, and you could pop the top open and then open the cereal. And the cereal was in this sort of, it wasn't aluminum foil, but it was a foil of some kind. And you could actually pour the milk in the box and eat them out of the box. But maybe you weren't supposed to do that, but we was backwards. We grew up in Indiana. Cheerios is alphabets for the spelling impaired, for people who like vowels. Let's see what we got here next. Toby McGrovey says, I don't want to interfere, but since you brought up Rice Krispies, I have to say, try the Flintstones cereal. It's Rice Krispies with vibrant colors, the taste of Fruit Loops and Tricks. Yeah, that's Fruity Pebbles. Yeah, that's another one of the ones I buy in a bag. By the way, phone lines are open at 972-994-6822. Positive Patriot says, Special K used to mean a different thing back in my day, brother. Yeah, I know. Terry Nee says they've changed the recipes on cereals over the years. Not as good, especially honeycombs. Yeah, they really dialed down the sugar on honeycombs. And without that sugar, that's a big blocky piece of, that's a big ask. SG Fanboy said, I meant Cosmic Crisp. Yeah, a lot of people like Cosmic Crisp. Hail Tom in chat, says the doctor. Smacks is so underrated. Sugar Smacks, it really is. Nothing like Sugar Smacks when they're cold. And Sugar Smacks is a cereal that you can just eat as a snack because they're not like really hard. They don't need milk to be edible. Pegleg Vet says, I eat around all the marshmallows and drink them down with the milk. Well, that's another topic we probably should get into. Is there anything better than the sugar milk after you're done with your sugar? You get that nectar of the gods, that ambrosia of the deities, and it's so good. Except when you've put a half a cup of sugar in it and you're drinking it, and then there's this sludge of sugar that you got to go back. And Diana Bryan says, ooh, those Honey Nut cornflakes I just love. They are. Mr. T cereal was amazing. I don't know what that was. I saw it, but I never had it. Hey, where are my Fruit Loops? We got them there for you. Nobody, and I mean nobody, messes with my Fruity Pebbles. I found that a lot of Gen Zers love Fruity Pebbles. Of all the cereals in my cereal drawer, that's the one that gets asked for the most. Green ones make you amorous. Skittles slander. Nope, Skittles. And I hate to say it because I was fooled as well. But Skittles and Fruit Loops, it's just one flavor. It's an optical illusion. Not true. Oh, come on. There's no rainbow there. Listen here, goat. 1963, Captain Crunch is so old. I know, Terry. But I think he looks dashing and youthful myself at that age. Actually, he's a commander, not a captain. Oh, I didn't know that. Deanna Marie says, I love the OG Captain Crunch myself. Yeah, it's still good, but once you have those Crunch Berries, you never go back. Crunch Berries were a cereal game changer. They so are. Because it's like when Captain Crunch had the Crunch Berries, I was like, have you seen these Crunch Berries? And they're Captain Crunch all around them. And then they just went, oh, hold my beer. You just want the Crunch Berries? Because we'll just give you the Crunch Berries. And I said, yes. Crunch Berries are the bomb. How about Berry Kicks? Well, I've heard of them. I've never had them. They sound great. I love anything that is fruit or berries or any of that. I love it. Let's see. FCF. I don't know what that means. Hate it when Microsoft does an update during the show. It slows everything down to a snail's crawl. Crunch Berries and Captain Crunch was as sacrilegious as Scrappy showing up on Scooby-Doo. I think that Scrappy-Doo is the Jar Jar Binks of the Hanna-Barbera world. Deanna Marie says Terry Nee and his sacrilegious as Cousin Oliver on the Brady Bunch. Yes. Honey Nut Raisin Bran. Oh, Honey Nut Raisin Bran. That's a good one, too. As a kid, we always had Count Chocula, Frankenberries, and Boo Berries. Yeah, that was the big three. Do you guys remember Quisp and Quake? Quake was like a superhero, and Quisp was like an alien. And it was basically Captain Crunch, both of them. They just had different shapes. The Quisp had little flying saucers, and the other guy had, I don't know what he had. Count Chocula, Deanna Marie. Emmett Mish says Sugar Smacks and Corn Pops were like crack. Yeah, it's hard to deny that. Life cereal. Life cereal was really good. It had a nice mellow flavor to it. You know, you didn't necessarily need. It was sweet enough. You didn't necessarily need to dump a half cup of sugar on. I'm a serial killer. Kabooms were awesome. Raisin Bran Crunch. Man, I'm telling you. I love Raisin Bran. And you'll get 2 scoops of raisins in a package of Kellogg's Raisin Bran. And that's why I always got Kellogg's instead of Post, is they put way more raisins in it. And my mom sometimes would like get a bunch of Sun-made raisins and try to make her own, and it's just not the same. You should do a UK cereal list, Tom. Well, Diana, I should, and you know what? I should have mentioned that many of these cereals were not released to the UK until like the 2000s or the 90s. So the cereals don't really, they're kind of like candy. Some of the stuff crosses over, but not all of it. Granny Smith. Let's see here. Granny Smith for apple pies, Honeycrisp for regular eating. Okay. The only thing I liked about Cocoa Pebbles was drinking the chocolate milk out of the bowl. Oh, yes, the nectar of the gods. Granny Smith all day. Aku says, it bothers me. Oatmeal Crunch isn't on this list. It bothers me too. Granny Smith for everything. Emmett Mish says wax paper. Yeah, it would be wax paper or the foil. It was kind of like the foil that's around a Pop-Tart. It was just a Mylar or something. Reverend Wild Bill says, I remember the variety packs had wax paper liners so you could use the box as a bowl. Yeah. Aku says, sorry to derail, but did you get the shot of the Mac? The Mac truck? When did you send it? Because I haven't received one yet, but I didn't look at my thing today, the show page today. I apologize. I was dealing with being monetized. Hey, girls. Sugar Pops, yes. Deanna says, I legit want to go out and buy cereal now. Yeah, it's so, you always have to have cereal and always have to have milk. And I'm telling you, there's times at work where because I don't get a gallon. I get a half gallon or a whatever it is, a liter. And there's sometimes when it'll go the length of the use it or it's bad. Nobody will have any except for me. Because I have it every morning when I'm in there. I get a bowl of cereal and I do my little thing. So I end up dumping some out, but I don't care. It's like, we got to have that at all times. Hugh says, seems to me middle-aged pothead keep most cereal companies in business nowadays. Reverend Wild Bill says, I like when you get the generic Fruit Loops and go to the bathroom the next morning. It's not natural. Blue-green. Scared me the first time I saw it. Wait, Skittles, all one flavored? No. Hermit Money says, is this live? I have no idea. I've tried to find out. Nobody will tell me. Reverend Wild Bill says, you can buy Crunch Berries by themselves. Yet that's what I'm saying. Cornflakes. Cornflakes are good if you put bananas or something else in them. But why not just eat the bananas or something else by themselves? Tricks are for kids. Silly rabbit. Hot shredded wheat. I can't eat shredded wheat. It's just this clump. I feel like I'm a cow. Especially the old shredded wheat, the big kind. Originally shredded wheat was this big, and you had to break it up yourself. And then they have the sugar-coated shredded wheat that are smaller, and those are barely edible. My mom would go buy the name brand cereal and replace it with the cheap cereal. Oh, hey now. Hermit, we don't go for that around here. You know that. Akumugan says Monday just before 8. Well, I can't. Well, I could check it, I guess, on my phone. I'll check it tonight there, Aku. Trust me. Somebody else doesn't like cornflakes. Organic milk lasts for a long time. I get the vitamin D. How about getting the cereal and milk? I do. I get it both for everybody. I provide that. Hermit, this was recorded next week for viewing last week. In says, I think Apple Jacks were 100% sugar. Aku says, the trick with bales of shredded wheat is brown sugar. Yeah, that would do it. And then there's the hot cereals like Cocoa Wheats or Cream of Wheat or any of those. Or just Quaker Oats with the hydrogenated strawberries or peach or whatever else is in there. And then Wilford Brimley, all mad. It's just the right thing to do. Quaker Oats. Simple, natural. It's good for you. Eat it, or I'll find out where you live. Oatmeal. Yeah, when you live up in the frozen north like I did growing up, if it was really cold out, my mom would make us hot cereal. Otherwise, I was probably trained from age 4 to make my own cereal. Also, why isn't there any oatmeal? Dino egg is king. I think this, we're just talking about cold cereals, probably is why. Oatmeal with sugar, raisins, and milk. Yeah. My mom also used to make rice with milk and sugar. Or something like that with butter in it, too. It was a hot cereal option for us. 972-994-6822. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, our long national nightmare is over. Sure, you can go to the TomGullyShow.com. Sure, you can check out those podcasts, 270 of them. Of course, you can go buy merchandise. By the way, producer Joe sent me a picture of his mug, and I didn't convert it into a PDF. But I want a picture of Jenna and Joe together, with Joe doing the coffee mug salute and Jenna with her shirt, because she got a shirt. And of course, you can like and share and subscribe and retweet and do all those free things. We'd love for you to do that, but we are now monetized. Yes. And ta-da. Man, I thought it was never going to happen. I really didn't. Let me see here. Reverend says cream of wheat with sugar and milk. Yep. And butter. My mom would put butter, just a square of butter right on top of that thing. Dana Bryan says, yuck, I remember Mom putting hot milk on my cereal. I didn't like that at all. Well, these are more cereals that were made to be hot, like cream of wheat or cocoa wheats. We love a monetized king. Thank you. Thank you. Smash that like button, says Hermit. Joshua Kraft says, that microphone stays crunchy in milk, even after repeated dunks into the Rice Krispies. SG Fanboy says, if I'm honest, I'll never eat cereal again. I'm more of an uncrossed blueberry Pop-Tart guy. I like the Pop-Tarts as well. They were making like double stuff, or they were extra loaded Pop-Tarts for a while. Those were good. I'm not so crazy about that cheap icing they put on it, but I'll eat them if I have to. Reverend Wild Bill with his super sticker for $2. Thank you guys so much for your contributions. It's just so nice of you. You're so awesome. Unfrosted Pop-Tarts, yeah. Cherry Pop-Tarts with butter. Pop-Tarts with butter are a phenomenon I discovered when I had some brown sugar. I accidentally got the brown sugar ones because I almost always get the berry flavored ones. And I accidentally got the brown sugar and I put butter on it, and it was sacre bleu, unfrosted. I liked those Pop-Tarts that were fatter, that had more, getting all slobbery just thinking about it. Lyndon says, back in the 50s, for a late morning treat, our grandmom would put butter on a slice of white bread and sprinkle sugar on it. We loved it. Well, my mom used to do the same thing. She'd make toast, put butter on it, and then she had this mixture of cinnamon and sugar that she would sprinkle on it. And toaster strudels, also champion. Those are clutch. Those are, as we used to say, those are clutch. Our Danny loved Pop-Tarts, says Diana O'Brien. Frosted Pop-Tarts, says Reverend Wabell. Chocolate fudge Pop-Tarts with butter. Thanks, Family Guy. They've got now a box that has, I think it has cherry, blueberry, and strawberry in the same box. Count me in. Count me. Oh, yeah, toaster strudels. A lot of people like them toaster strudels. Brown cinnamon toast. Yeah, good old cinnamon toast. And it was weird because if you just put sugar on it and then you just put cinnamon on it, it not even close to the same thing unless you mix them up together. We got an Uncle Rico tonight in about 7 minutes. That means I got to be out of here in about 7 minutes. From our first monetized program, not to sound like Levi, but toast with either butter or apple butter or butter and honeycomb. I can tell you this. Love a bit of butter, says Diana. I can tell you this. Apple butter is hugely underrated. Hugely underrated. SG Fanboy says, I knew a very large person who would dip a stick of butter in sugar. He called them sin sticks. Oh, my God. The Kahuna says, everybody remember when they ate their first s'mores Pop-Tart? I've never had one. Apple butter. Apple butter is so underrated. I mean, if you have apple, instead of using jelly on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, use apple butter sometime. It'll change your life. Reverend Y. Bill says breakfast, brown cinnamon toast with raisin oatmeal. Oh, boy. Congratulations, Tom, says Emmett Mish. Thank you, Emmett. Let's see here. Deanna says s'mores, Pop-Tarts, toasted. So good. Lyndon says, again, thanks again, Tom. Congrats. No, congrats to all of you guys, and thank you for being so generous. You're awesome people. I wish I could give you all a hug. Aku says, cinnamon spread, anyone? I don't know what that is. It sounds dirty. Congratulations, Tom, says Terry Nee. Terry, you've been a gentleman and a scholar and quite generous. I appreciate it. I have never had a s'more, says Reverend Wild Bill. Rev, it's kind of like a moon pie. That's why you've never had one. SG says, hate s'mores. Marshmallows are an abomination. I'm kind of with you on that, except I like the Lucky Charms marshmallows. Apple butter on cottage cheese. Yum. Anything on cottage cheese. We have so many food items we don't get here in the UK. Yes, but you have Bovril. You have Bovril. We can't get it here. Reverend Wild Bill says, does this mean I don't have to run the New York special at night anymore? That is correct. You don't have to run that anymore. Moon pie, says Reverend Wild Bill, and an RC Cola. RC Cola and a moon pie. Yes, I knew what you were talking about, Rev. Moon pie and an RC Cola. I tell you what. Now I got to make sure and check for that Mack truck picture. I got all sorts of stuff to do. All sorts of stuff to do. Wow, this has been such an inaugural day and such a special day in the history of the Tom Gully Show. Kahuna says, Rev, despite what you think, you haven't lived till you've had a s'more. Joseph Pruitt says, by God. Joseph, right? I know somebody else that says that. It's his birthday today. Akumugan says, as a Canadian, I have some things you guys won't. Butter tarts, ketchup chips, Tiger Strike ice cream. Yeah. You do. Bunch of stuff. Moon pie, redneck caviar. Oh, to be a kid again. Salute. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If Lynette Miller was in here, Lynette Miller told me like 6 years ago, you need to get monetized for your show. And I don't want people to have to pay things and stuff. It should be a free show. And yeah, but if people want to help contribute and stuff, you need to let them do that. And I didn't listen. And there you go. Yeah, so much for the phone line, says Wild Bill. Well, Bill, that's the way it is every episode. Well, except you use it. And the Looney Tunes critic is called in and some other people. But sitting on a gas station bench with an RC Cola and a moon pie. There you go, Lyndon. Mayo on fries, Canadian. Ale 8. Oh, Ale 8. That's some good stuff. And moon pies are pretty good, or so I'm told. Ale 8 is a very underrated soda. That's the last of my Red Bull. Uncle Jack is here. His show is called Uncle Jack's Jack Shack. You should check that out and watch it. Uncle Jack, I'm now monetized. That's the celebration today. That and your favorite breakfast cereal. Diana Bryan says, Lynette's a lovely, sweet lady. Bless her. She is. She's a nice lady. Banana moon pie. Well, now you're getting me interested in it. But those snowballs, I don't care what color they are. They make orange ones and Halloween ones. That's marshmallow and coconut. Is a moon pie like a Joe Louis? I don't know what a Joe Louis is. A moon pie is 2 cookies with marshmallows sandwiched in between them, and then the whole thing's covered in chocolate. Woohoo! you, says Positive Patriot. Lyndon says, anyone remember Hires root beer? I do remember Hires. Very good root beer. Not as good as Sioux City Sarsaparilla, and probably not as good as IBC, but very much comparable to A&W. And I have a whole half a case of A&W Zero Sugar in my fridge right now. Oh my gosh, 20 seconds until Rico. That means we're going to have to get out of here. Thank you. I am monetized. You guys are wonderful. You're the best. I have only you to thank for it. And with all that being said, I got to get out of here for Rico. Don't worry. They're going to play songs for the first 10 minutes. You guys, thank you. It's very awesome that you've come into the show, got the watch hours up, and that you've been so generous. So with all that being said, I guess we'll see you on Hump Day. And till next time, we'll see you next time.